Lovely. Hey there, everyone.
Hello, I'm
Michael here
Michael.
for the Fellowship of Acoustics.
Milo here. And today we're having a look at this guitar.
Yeah,
Over here.
because you have a little story to tell to me, to tell to everyone,
Yeah.
about this very guitar and the name that it bears and a few other cool details.
So the first thing you notice when you see this guitar, it is a big guitar. Maybe for some of you this might not look like a Martin guitar at first sight, but this is a Martin guitar. This is a Martin Ditson 111
A
triple
Ditson 111.
So the story to tell about this is that this is a recreation of the first Dreadnought ever made. And why is it called a Ditson guitar, a Martin Ditson, you might ask?
Yeah, I would ask because I honestly don't know. Tell me.
Yeah, so the first Dreadnought guitars that were built were not built under the Martin name. They were built for the Ditson distribution company. So a lot of sheet music, instruments, etc. They were made and sold by the Ditson company.
Okay.
And Martin at the time, they built some guitars for the Ditson company.
Mm-hmm.
There was a demand for bigger acoustic guitars, bigger and louder acoustic guitars, because all the acoustic guitars that came before, they were quite small. We know the O sizes,
Yeah.
the double O, and maybe triple O.
Yeah.
Those were the biggest ones.
And there was a lot more music around at that time with a lot of other instruments, with violins and such. So the guitar needed to be amplified more.
Banjo.
The banjo, of course. Yeah.
So when we're talking about D28s, a lot of the time you hear people say it is a banjo killer.
Okay.
Those are loud instruments.
And we know them now as the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
Because there's something special about that name,
Yeah,
right?
because when they started building these guitars, the Dreadnought name wasn't there.
Okay.
So in 1916, the first design for the Ditson 111 was made. It was made by, I have to look this up, John Dykman. John Dykman designed this, and he designed a lot of other models for the Ditson company as well. So this is the triple one.
Mm-hmm.
You have a double one, so 1-1, and also a 1, of course.
Okay. And is it like the smaller the number, the smaller the body? Was that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Makes
But
sense.
they are larger than most of the Martin guitars that were made. That's why it's also a number 1 and not a 0.
Smart marketing, right? There.
Yeah. So in 1916, the first Dreadnought model was made, but we don't really call it a Dreadnought when it comes from that period because they didn't have the X bracing yet.
Yeah.
So those first guitars, they had the lighter fan bracing. We know that the first X-braced Dreadnought guitar was made in 1924.
Yeah.
In 1924, they also added this beautiful pickguard as well.
Which is funnily placed over here.
Yeah, so
nowadays you'll have it over here.
Perhaps it was more aimed at the finger pickers.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Not sure about that, but
so this guitar is a nod to the 1924 and also mixed with a 1929 model that is in the Martin museum as well. So that's an X-braced Dreadnought guitar, and then of course the name Dreadnought. We hear it.
Yeah.
We hear it everywhere. The Dreadnought name didn't exist. Do you know maybe where the Dreadnought name came from?
Well, I just read it because you told me as in preparation of this video. Honestly, I didn't know, so it'd be funny if you tell everyone.
Of course. So it was the biggest and boldest guitar out there in 1924 and 1916 even. The Dreadnought was a battleship, a English-British battleship. And it was a very big and bold ship. This is a very big and bold guitar. That's why they call it the Dreadnought. But it was also sort of an inside joke because the models that we know from Martin were all the O and the double O.
Yeah.
But they also did call it naught. So it was a naught 28 or a naught 18.
Because it was 0.
Double naught,
Right.
triple naught. Yeah. And the Dreadnought. That's where it comes from. Also, dread stands for fear, of course, to dread something. And so their idea was maybe sort of an inside joke when you go to a rehearsal room and there's someone with a banjo, you should fear not.
Dreadnought.
You should dread not because you have a Dreadnought guitar.
That's such a good story.
Yeah. So that is how the Dreadnought got started.
Okay. Really interesting story.
Yeah.
Can I try it?
Sure.
A little bit. Just put this over here. Feels like a nice neck.
that's what you get with these 12 fret Dreadnought guitars. So let's talk a little bit about the specs. So this is a 12 fret Dreadnought guitar. What I find mostly what you get with these is that you get a sort of an extra oomph, sort of extra air in the bass response.
Yeah,
you
I felt
feel
that definitely.
I think it's because the sound hole is deeper into the body.
Okay.
I think, but it's a really big and beautiful sound.
Yeah.
What you get is a mahogany back and sides.
Okay.
Like a D18. You get on this guitar you get a Adirondack spruce top.
Adirondack spruce.
Also Adirondack braces as well. So this one has the X braces.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, we get an ebony fingerboard, mahogany neck. We have Waverly tuners.
Yeah. Slotted headstock.
Slotted headstock. Yeah. You get a Ditson stamp. Let's see where it is.
Yeah, I saw it on the back. It's going to be really hard. No, you won't be able to see that. But it says Ditson instead of Martin.
Yeah, and it is also inside the guitar as well.
Yeah. Cool.
So all in all, it's a great commemorative guitar just built to think about that period again. The first Dreadnought guitars out there.
And it's a really good remembrance to that cool story you just told us.
As well. And also to mention, we have rosewood binding. Fancy. I think it looks like Brazilian rosewood. I read somewhere that maybe at the time they made it with Brazilian rosewood. I'm not quite sure if this is Brazilian rosewood. It looks like it. It has the grain sort of and the tint, but I'm not quite sure.
We're not sure about that, but we are about everything else.
Yeah.
So that's quite good.
Yeah. We have an adjustable truss rod. That wasn't in the original Dreadnoughts at the time. But I think it's a welcome improvement.
Welcome addition.
And we have a 48 millimeters or 1 7/8 nut width.
Nut width, yeah.
Which feels really comfortable to play.
It felt really comfortable. It did.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
Play us out then.
About this guitar, yeah. I will play something.
Thanks, Milo.
There you have it, the Martin Ditson 111.
Yes.
See you next time.
Next time.
Bye.
Cheers.